That hurt.
I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm,
articulate and intelligent.
Greg's a bitch. That's all.
I find them offensive as hell.
I've never been a fan.
Yeah, fuck them.
Terrible! Bad! Not bad!
Oh, pretty good.
Okay!
Decent.
Fair!
Great!
I loved it!
This sucks.
Yeah, you really gotta wonder how the stuff gets made.
All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. We're back. It's the only show whose theme song was written by one of the people on the show. Unbelievable. Yeah, right. So we're going to cover a number of things tonight, but I think we should start off. Brett, have you seen any of the Generation Next games yet this season? I watched a couple. I didn't watch all of them.
Wait. Generation Next or Generation Next Pro?
Generation Next Pro, right? That's what it's called. That's the full name?
So Generation Next is the academy. Generation Next Pro is the step up, like the reserve, if you will.
Oh, I didn't really watch it. I just watched some highlights. And guess what? No one was at those games. Shocker. No one went to the games. Remember when they used to play against grown men in the USL and there were fans watching the game? Now it's just a bunch of kids playing each other. I don't think this is going to be very helpful. And all because MLS refused to pay USL to allow their MLS reserve teams to be in USL anymore. What was the expansion
fee for that? It was like $5 million?
It was minimal for them to stay in USL. USL's like, hey, man, we're giving your reserve teams a venue here. We don't need them. If you're going to stay in the league, then you're going to have to start paying something or pay a fee to be in our league because everybody else is paying something to be in our league. And, I'm just like, nah, we'll just have the boys play boys. And then they dress it up like it's something better than what they had before. That's just so inauthentic. It's so U.S. soccer-like. It's almost like the same people that run U.S. soccer and MLS know each other really well and operate in the same way. So isn't that weird?
So, Derek, there's no incentive for anybody to go to those games. You know why? Because if you're a season ticket holder, you automatically have the MLS pass. You already have the MLS season pass, which means you get it for free anyways. Why would you pay to go watch these games?
Why would you go pay to see Red Bulls 2 when you can go watch Red Bull 1, the real team?
I mean, there's a price discrepancy there, man. Tickets are getting expensive here, man.
But still, regardless of the price, I'm not going to go watch a bunch of 17 and 18-year-olds.
We had decent attendance for our NPSL Indy 11 team. I mean, I would say decent. It's NPSL, and it was up here on the north side. I think we probably had close to like 500 to 1,000. I'd say 500.
And now they're starting a new pro team, the Indy 11, right? Is it the
ladies team?
Indy 11 women, right?
I thought that's already started.
I don't know, but I know they're in the highest tier because unlike for the men's game, U.S. Soccer's like, yeah, it's fine if we have two top tier leagues for the women. But it ain't okay for the men. It's okay for the women. How does that make fucking sense to you? Does that make sense to you?
No.
I don't know. I just don't get it. Anyhow, somebody knows.
While we're talking about Indy 11 USL and all that stuff, it was funny when the team was being developed, Indy 11 and stuff, and I'm sure you had this conversation with Peter and everything, but how many times did we bring up the idea of having an academy team? Something that we can really develop our own players and stuff like. No, we'll just work with the surrounding clubs, and now they have an academy team, and now they're signing academy players to their team. It just. It took them a while. It took them a while to get to the point.
I'm not sure that's Wilt's fault.
No, I don't think it's Wilt's fault by any means.
I think that was more Ursel saying, hey, one step at a time, Buster, you know? And then Wilt had to kind of explain it away when people brought it up. I don't think that was Wilt. Yeah, I think that was more Ursel at the time saying, hey, I just bought a club. Can we just chill out here? I got to save for this fucking stadium that I'm supposed to buy, which he
Well,
did.
Sort of buy.
He didn't really buy the stadium yet. Yes, Indy 11, if you don't know, are going to have a new stadium. Brett and I were at a ceremony where they broke the ground. It's a really great part of Indianapolis, too. I mean, that shit's like right downtown next to the football stadium. And it's on old land that was once owned by the Diamond Chain Company, which used to make chains for like almost
GM plant.
No.
I thought it wasn't the GM plant.
No, it's Diamond Chain Company.
Okay.
And there's a whole article that's interesting. It's worth reading. Before it was Diamond Chain Company, it was a graveyard. It was the first official Indianapolis graveyard starting back in the 1860s.
But land's expensive downtown.
And
Move
so,
those bodies.
well, they did move some of them. They moved the Confederate soldiers' graves. They moved the Union soldier graves. And they moved all the white people.
I thought all that stuff was around Garfield Park. This is too Indiana for everybody, I'm sure.
Well, anyhow, they moved them all to the big, cemetery downtown. But they didn't move the black people. Like the black people have their own separate graves. They just left them there. They're like, we're not moving those.
What time? Well, I guess let's preface this. But what time? What year? What era was this again that they moved everybody?
I believe the Diamond Chain Company started in the 1920s and 30s, somewhere around there, which was one of the most racist periods in American history. So not surprising.
Indy was no better.
Yeah, well, definitely not.
Definitely
any better.
not. Definitely not. Yeah.
So they left them there. And so the thing that Ursel and company are going to have to work on as they build this massive complex of shopping and hotels and the stadium there is they're going to come up with dead bodies. And there is a procedure, okay? They're going to come up with buried bodies. Mm-hmm. You can't just dig up someone's body and just toss it in a fucking truck, all right? It has to be registered. Somebody's got to show up. It's got to be moved and reburied. Right, and moved in a new into a new spot. And so anyhow, it's going to be costly. Let's just put it that way. But luckily for them,
fortunately, he knows a good construction company. It won't cost that much.
He does. But you notice they're not using their own construction companies for a lot of this work. They've got like 8 different partners for this thing, and so they're all invested in it together. So if something goes wrong, they all fail. And no. I mean, they're not going to let that happen. So interesting way they did this. We'll see how it goes here in Indianapolis with pro soccer. This was their big, of course, move by building the stadium to say, hey, look at us, MLS. We should get a look. We should get
Chris, I'll come back to your comment in just a second. I want to make sure I get the turd in first.
The turd in the background says, welcome to the straight red card. We beat St. Kitts. Don't forget, and Nevis. And also Nevis. Yes. Oh, he said it. Okay. Greg Berhalter is a tactical genius. Pick the lineup and tactics. Wait, I said too much. Forget that. My wife likes penis. Well, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Your wife
could have gone so much darker than that, but yeah, that's great that your wife likes penis.
It's good, but she might like other things too, and there's nothing wrong with that as well. So, that's true.
I know. So something came in mind. All right, here back to Chris's comment.
How's the weather in Bloomington? I don't live there anymore.
Derek doesn't live there anymore. Chris? I will say my sister does, and it's tornadic.
Yes, it's tornadic.
Tornadic, not tornadic. Thank you. Appreciate that. Been saying it wrong all these years. Who would have thought?
Oh, God, English majors. Having them around is such a bummer. Music friend. Brett and Derek, you guys live in the East Coast, mid or west. Just wanted to know your time differences. We are in Indianapolis, Indiana. Well, Brett technically lives north of that, Noblesville, but technically it's a suburb of Indianapolis. I live closer to, I'm like between Carmel and Fishers, so somewhere around there. Anyhow, welcome to the show.
We have about a 15-minute time difference, all right, Derek?
Right. But just so you know, my background, I'm not from here originally, but I've been here a long time at this point. I'm an Army brat, so I lived all over the world. There you go. What's your address? U.S. Soccer knows, apparently. They leave messages on my door.
God,
Allegedly, yes.
do you remember the reaction we got from that?
Was that a
Who was really concerned that we might get sued? Who was that? Oh, I
was
know
that
Berlin.
Berlin?
Was, yeah.
Yeah. He said, dude, they're gonna sue you. I'm like, are you a lawyer?
No court in the right mind would look at that known like, okay.
Yeah.
Come
Agent Dick Johnson? I don't think so.
Tact fell for it too, yeah.
Yes, he did. He's like, is that for real?
Oh my God. Yes.
He's like, I don't want to hang out with you guys anymore.
Agent Johnson, no relation.
Right, exactly. And Bob Bradley got fired. Did we talk about that yet? He got fired.
Nope.
Yeah, Bob got fired. Listen, things are just sometimes you just hit a ceiling, right? I think Bob has hit that, and I think he needs to take a break for a while. I think sometimes it's good to go take a breather and say, you know what? Like Jason Kreis, he took a breather and that didn't work. So maybe it's not always a good thing. He just continued to suck. But Bob Bradley had some season ending at LAFC that were not great. And then TFC, since he's been there, has been a disaster. He's got two big, huge signings there. He's got to deal with those egos. And apparently they wanted him out, even though they have all these injuries too, right? So it's not just on Bob, but no, I'm not. I am drinking tonight.
I was about to ask you that.
A Leffe, again, another blonde Belgian ale. It has some nice caramel and vanilla notes. It is only 6.6, which is pretty low for a Belgian beer, to be honest with you, or ale. So that's the beverage. And here I'm going to partake. I don't think a Budweiser looks this dark, doesn't it? No. But I've never had
transparent.
One. I haven't had a Budweiser for 30 years, so I wouldn't know.
You know the color of urine after you've drank a lot of beer, and it says
yeah.
It's that off
that
color yellow. You know that's that color. It really is.
Okay. God, these headphones suck. I got to go get a head with longer wire. Right, this is annoying. And
I don't know what that's like.
I know. I was telling you earlier. I have wire. I have wire envy. Wire envy. I've got to get a pair of the ones that with the cups, but I'm gonna have to go online to do it because I've been to every fucking store you can think of, and nobody has one with a long cord. It's annoying as fuck. What do they think? Everybody has to sit 6 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet from their fucking computer? No. Just like you, I want to lean back sometimes, and I can't do it, or the things will just pop out.
Jam flew at first. How about Bluetooth? Just some Bluetooth headphones.
I don't want to do it.
And some
I'm old.
Whatever the not earbuds, but whatever the Bluetooth iPhone ones. They're just like that, but there's no wires, of course.
I know.
They're like, oh, when are you gonna get those? I'm like, never.
Yeah.
I have a tendency of losing things.
Yep.
And I could only imagine. Oh, let me get my AirPods. Oh, never mind. I don't know where they're at. I know you can actually search for them too, like their phone. You can do the find my iPhone thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, my other problem,
a $200 solution. Just do that.
My problem is I have smaller than normal average ears, so all these things don't fit in my ear hole. Like I really have to jam that shit in. I got to lube them up and then jam them in there just to get it in there. I got to lube them up. And the problem is then that makes them really slippery and
a lot of experience. Steve, a lot of experience from that with the one girl you brought up on the last show, right?
I think her name was Angela. Anyhow, I can't remember, but yeah, only in the butt, Angela. So also this coming holiday on July the 4th, all of you be careful out there. No lost limbs. No putting fucking firecrackers in your asshole to amuse your guests at your barbecue because you had way too many drinks.
We've all seen enough of those firecrackers not leave the butthole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you got a big, problem down there. So be careful. Listen, I really don't understand this. I mean, I've never been into fireworks. They do nothing for me. I've seen them once. That's all. I mean, how many times can you get thrilled by seeing the exact same fucking thing? It does nothing for me. and I see grown men out there firing off fireworks all week long, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you, fucking 10 years old?
That's the worst part. That's the worst part of 4th of July is not the actual day itself with fireworks, but the entire week surrounding it.
Yeah.
And if you've got a dog, that dog doesn't
Oh,
like
the
fireworks.
dogs hate it.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I mean, seriously, if you're a grown man at this point, let's say you're 42, and you're still out there 3 days after July 4th, when it gets dark, shooting off fireworks, I think maybe you need to reevaluate.
No. I will say, say you get some PVC piping and you pop it back on there and you start having some bottle rocket wars.
No, that's
acceptable.
perfectly acceptable.
That's acceptable.
Absolutely. Like if you're going to make some
Got
use
some Roman
out of
candles and just start firing them at each other.
hell yeah,
Acceptable.
man.
Make sure you wear eye protection though.
We used to do that. We would get these long tubes and we put the bottle rockets in them, and we'd have two, bottle rocket wars against.
You just
each
run
other.
around, just holding at the side.
Yeah. Now that's fun. That's entertaining. But them just shooting them in the sky and going bing. I mean, how entertaining is that after a while?
We as we got older, we upgraded from. I'm not sure if it's much of an upgrade. We went from fireworks to airsoft.
Oh,
that shit can hurt.
Airsoft hurts? I don't remember. We had some of those guns when my kids were
hit with
were younger.
little pellets. I mean, that shit.
Yeah.
That
Also,
shit's
remember, I couldn't remember the place where everybody went to have conversations back in
the boards or whatever it was. Yeah, forums.
They're called news groups. News groups is what they were called.
I would never have remembered that.
Yeah, and there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And believe me,
did you spend the entire night Googling that shit?
No, it was so weird. I was watching another show, and it was about the most visited websites from 1994 to current, right? And it starts off and it shows you what websites people visited in 1994. So you got like AOL up on the top, not porn sites, just normal websites. But then news groups was listed as like 94, 95 as like number 10 or 11 or 9 or something like that. I'm like, news groups. Thank God. Like there was a place you could go and get all your news groups. And I guess it was called news group something. But that's where we all went to talk. And believe me,
Reddit before Reddit, huh?
People were posting porn in there, some weird ass porn too. And you were in a site you think was about like golf. And then someone would post some shit and you'd be like, and you download it because you're curious. And you'd be like, oh my God, why did I do that? And it took hours to download like a 2 megabyte video. Hours, literally.
There was you mentioned golf and you mentioned porn and then you mentioned golf.
Well, they both have
my mind went
holes.
to how do you make porn? How do you make golf porn joke here? And there was a video that was sent my way one time where it's like, hey, I know you're not a big golfer, but can you check my swing? You click on it, and it's a guy's about to drive, and he goes back, and when he's about to swing and hit the ball, all of a sudden it cuts to a floppy dick smacking across some chick in the face.
Hey,
so like that's some pretty solid form there. You got solid wrist action and everything.
Now, that's what they used to do back in the old days with news groups. And you didn't know what you were downloading. You seriously had no fucking clue. You just had to wait 2 hours to find out. And you'd be so anxious. You're like, oh my God, I've been downloading this for 2 hours. What is this going to be?
Was that the motion you're doing too?
Yes, it was. I was like, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Let it pay off. Let it pay off.
It was the only place at the time, really, you could get like your own porn on your computer that you could watch later, right? Mm-hmm. But you had to download it. Like, don't even think about downloading a 50 megabyte porn video because that would take all day. We're talking about phone
at the time. I mean,
then phone dial-up.
The phone, you get really screwed over.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, so that's all I think I had. I wanted to cover those bases since we couldn't remember the word news groups, and everybody else who watches our show apparently is so young that they didn't know what. They probably are still going, what's a news group?
A news group.
You know what I'm saying? What the fuck he talking about? A news group? What the fuck's a news group? Well, anyhow, look it up
where
on.
that's coming from.
Well,
Derek,
that's probably,
Derek, I like how before the show when I went over all my stuff that I've got ready lined up and everything like that. Oh, this is going to be a short one. I'm like, is it really going to be a short one? Because we just got done with your fluff, and it's only 20 minutes into the show.
I didn't know that I was doing fluff, but okay.
All that's fluff. Derek, all that beginning shit is fluff. Come on.
Right.
Just,
But no,
it's prepping, getting everybody ready for the actual show.
I was doing D-Rex voice.
Hmm.
And look who's here, folks. Look.
Oh, good. You got the right side up that time. You don't want to
D-Rex
see the
here.
other side, guys.
You mean his butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my hand goes into
I was
control.
gonna say, Derek, with the fact that being a stuffed puppet and everything like that.
It is a puppet, yeah.
Smathering peanut butter on your penis is not going to do you any good.
Oh, that's so gross, Brett.
Of all the things we talk about, okay. It's not the worst, but
I'm sorry, but dogs are man's best friend. They shouldn't be treated that way. All right. What else?
especially if you got nut allergies.
Better be high quality peanut butter. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, go to
All
your
right.
fluff.
Anyways,
What do we got here?
I don't know if you've ever come across the Internet Hall of Fame Twitter handle before.
Internet Hall of Fame Twitter. No, never seen them.
They have some good stuff on there.
Okay.
But I came across this one and I enjoyed it thoroughly, so I'm just gonna share it with everybody.
Okay. How do you run into these? Just accidentally?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he says, "Oh God." So here's the picture. I want to be like mommy.
What's mommy doing? Swinging on a pole? She's a
Okay.
stripper? She's
Yeah,
a
that's what
stripper.
it looks like, right?
Yeah.
Clearly she is. Right. It has
Yeah.
to be. Has to be, yeah.
Right. Dear Miss Jones, I wish to clarify that I am not now, nor have I ever been an exotic dancer. I work at Home Depot, and I told my daughter how hectic it was last week before the blizzard hit. Her picture doesn't show me dancing around a pole. It's supposed to depict me selling the last snow shovel we had at Home Depot.
I'll give you more money. Give me.
You know what this is reminiscent of is when my little brother, they asked him to draw pictures of his family, and one of the days he had to draw a picture of my dad, and he drew a picture of my dad sitting watching TV with a table and a huge stack of empty beers all the way to the ceiling. And so my dad had to go into school. I think my brother was like 6, and they asked him if he had a drinking problem.
It's only a problem if you're not good at it. Am I right?
Yeah, he was completely fine. He didn't really have a drinking problem. He did drink a lot of beer. Shit. Back then, everybody did. But it was water. That's piss.
Yeah.
It wasn't 6 point or whatever this I said was 6.6.
Yeah.
It was
You got hydrated.
3%. He just stayed hydrated. Like he was one of the original founders of our country, right? They all drank beer all day long because it was the only way to drink safe water, right? But it was low alcohol content.
Oh yeah.
All right.
They used to. I mean, there's reports where where the Egyptians would actually not pay per se the Israelites to build their all their structures, but they would pay them with beer, and that would be their supplement. That's basically how they got most of their nutrients, is because that stuff was not just alcoholic at the time. It had a bunch of other shit in it.
We got wheat grains. Yeah. A fertile land it once was.
Hey, build us a pyramid. I'll give you some beer. Sold.
Man, they built lots of pyramids. What a waste of time. All right. I mean, it was. It's just a waste of time. Just some motherfucker can be like buried in it. This was the tribute to him. I don't know. Seems like a waste of time, but it seems like they didn't have a lot else to do.
How else did they measure dicks back then? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, but then, one of the guys later on got a smaller pyramid than another guy. So apparently it wasn't about size, really.
And it's probably what happened is they're building it up, and then he died. He's like, well, let's just cap it off.
It's manpower. Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, what a waste of time. They could have been doing something fantastic, but they wasted their time building pyramids. Yeah. I mean, I'm still amazing. I wonder how they do it. Nobody really knows 100% how that will happen. But all right, what else you got?
A lot of manpower. Yeah.
Probably woman power too.
True enough.
Those men needed to have some rest at the end of the day. All right, Derek can't escape the transfer news. Transfer news.
So this was obviously our first recorded show. We did the transfer news show. But having recorded 2 shows at once and stumbling across transfer news that came late in our second show when we talked about Lalas. So we talked about Lalas, yeah.
Okay.
At the very end of it, we talked about Brandon Vazquez and the interest he had from Gladbach.
Okay.
Apparently, we didn't read all the way down to the end of the tweet because apparently Cincy has blocked the move for Vazquez.
What a bunch of dicks.
So, and yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, he's entering. He's finishing up his 3rd year on his contract, which means he's entering his extension clause. You know, the 3+2. You know,
What a bunch of cocks.
So apparently, according to Vazquez, he even said in an interview apparently that it was always the plan that he was going to finish this season out,
Right.
and then since he was going to field bids come January.
Apparently not.
Well, it's not January yet.
Well, listen, that's stupid because they could make a deal now for January.
Loan him back out for 6 or a few more months. Yeah.
A lot of players have done that in the past where the team signs them, they stay and finish out the season, and then they move to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw it with Aronson Jr.
The Packs, yeah.
So, I mean, I think Cincinnati are just being cock blockers at this point. That sucks for Vazquez.
Well, I mean, obviously, not Dortmund. It wasn't Dortmund. It was Gladbach. I don't know if I said Dortmund.
No, you said Gladbach.
Yeah, okay, good. Gladbach was looking for a replacement for what's a striker's name?
Yeah, well, he's not a replacement. He's not a replacement for that guy.
No, but I mean, it's striker for striker like. So that
he wouldn't start right away.
True, but that's beside.
Probably wouldn't. That's what I'm saying.
Regardless, that was the rumor. But I mean, if Gladbach goes out and they get somebody else, then it's no longer an option moving forward.
Or they'll get somebody else.
Other options. The big question is how much were they offered, and will they get equal to or better later on? And if I know Cincy's killing it right now, they're top of the East, and do you want to get rid of Vazquez, who's one top strikers?
Send him after the season's over.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's got like 4 goals in the season so far. He's not even the heaviest hitter. Could they find somebody to replace him? It's possible.
Sure, they'll hope he gets hot. But I mean, this is simple. There's got to be more to this than we know about, because usually you would think an MLS team would go, listen, yeah, but you got to stay for the rest of the season. We'll let you sign the deal as long as Gladbach is on board.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think that the bid was a low ball. They were expecting higher.
It must be a low ball offer.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a
low ball?
What is a low ball offer?
That's what I'm saying. In their eyes, low ball.
Vazquez is worth what? I mean, if I had to guess, 6 mil, 7 mil, maybe hot tops.
In the eyes of MLS, yes.
What about transfer market?
I can find
you look that up real quick.
Yeah.
See what he's worth.
We got to keep filling up the dead space. Don't wait for me. I didn't mean to spit all that out, man. Come on. He's 7 mil. He's 7 mil.
What did I say?
You said 7. You hit the nail. You hit the nail around the head, man.
God damn, that's just unreal. Okay,
we've got some other transfer news here. We got Ferreira, or we got Jack Sparrow to Barcelona. We've also got Jack Sparrow to Napoli. Now Jack Sparrow is also going to go to Milan. But Tom thinks it's going to be Man City.
You guys are just the jokers.
Nope. We got Real Madrid also. Man, he is getting a lot of hits.
Is this what Lalas meant last night when he said there are a lot of hate for
a lot of hate going his way? Yeah, exactly.
Man, that ain't hate. People just having a good time at his expense. That is not the same thing as hate. Hate's a strong word.
So
maybe. But they're referring to them as haters, which I hate that fucking term. See, I hate the term haters. And the reason I hate the term haters is because it doesn't represent what those people are saying. They're not hating on Ferreira. They're just saying he's not that good. And as you just so rightly called him, he's the pirate of the Caribbean.
Yarb.
Yeah. He's really good at scoring when he's on playing against small little islands. You know,
So
it's
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing. When people are like, "Oh my god, he gets a lot of hate," I'm like, "Well, that's because you're looking at the end result. You weren't paying attention a year and a half ago when they were explaining. Everybody who doesn't want Ferreira there was explaining why they don't want Ferreira there. Oh, I don't like him that much on the national team. He's probably a really nice guy. He's probably a good player for MLS and everything.
He is a nice guy.
He needs to get out of MLS, and then we'll see what happens. But he's X, Y, and Z. And then at some point, when you keep repeating X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z, at some point you're just like, yeah, he sucks. I don't want him on the pitch.
Right. After
and then
a
all of a
while,
sudden now everybody's looking at that going like, look, haters. He scored 3 goals. Haters. I'm like, it's like.
But saying someone
look
sucks,
at the end result of it all.
saying someone sucks doesn't mean you hate them. That's why I don't like the way the English language is evolving.
You suck. You shouldn't be on the national team.
Right. I shouldn't be. Absolutely correct. But I don't like the way we're evolving words, because now when we say someone's a hater, that doesn't actually mean they hate them. It just means they don't like them. That's stupid. Yeah. That's a stupid thing. Why are we evolving language into words that they shouldn't mean and don't mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you can't say, like Lalas said last night, he gets a lot of hate online. He doesn't get hate. He just gets people saying, hey, he's not good. He sucks. That's not hate. That's like, okay, I might think that Ferreira's a really nice guy, but I just don't think he's
expressing a subjective bias. You're biased in the sense that you don't rate him. So you say what every sports person says when they talk about a player they don't rate or simply don't like being on the pitch. You say, hey, he sucks. Whatever. Get him off the pitch.
I don't rate him. It's easier to say he sucks. Or he's not good enough. He's not good enough for our top tier national team. He's not. He's not good enough for the A team. Does that make me an a-hole or a hater? No, it doesn't. I'm sick of this shit.
Seth, don't worry, we will be listening to Lalas a little bit later.
Well, he will be. And actually, he got something right.
A couple times, actually. We're going to listen to him a couple times.
He got something right again, which is amazing. I mean, he's usually batting 1 for 20, and the past couple of weeks he's been 2 for 4. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, when Derek told me oh yeah, Lalas on his most recent show, he got it right. I'm like, well, geez, I got to pull it up because we got to give him credit when credit's due. We always tag on him from time to time.
I mean, he's still never going to reply to a single tweet you ever tweet at him because he associates you with me.
Man. Well, let me pull it up, I guess. That's fun.
And as long as Lalas associates you with me, he's not going to reply to you.
So Razor here says U.S. men's national team start times. No match should start after 8 p.m.
Oh, Jesus.
And he says, it's summer. I'm sure your parents will let you stay up.
That's a good comeback. That's actually a good comeback.
My response was, how am I supposed to get a good night's sleep after the game ends at midnight? When am I supposed to fit in watching porn?
You were too nice with that. You just said, when am I going to get a chance to spank the monkey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come back. I'll come back to the
multitask. I love Sean Brooks. Multitask, motherfucker. Watch the game and jerk off at the same time.
Just don't do it a lot. Might have some weird Pavlov's dog effect on yourself. Games could get a lot more interesting for you. And I respond with, "Will certainly be strange for those I attend live."
Well, also keep in mind that Brett has kids, young children. And you remember the old joke, there's nothing like jerking off when you know you're absolutely by yourself in your own place. Well, Brett doesn't have that luxury ever. So all his jerking off is like this. Oh, shit. What was that?
Was it a little steps? What's happening?
Oh, fuck. I heard some shit. Oh, shit. That's called an uncomfortable jerk. Where me, I'm just like, I'm all by myself.
Turn the porn down. Okay, sorry. I didn't think it was that loud.
No uncomfortable jerk in this fucking place. It's just me, bitch. 100% of the time. I love that.
Pay no attention to the man behind the green curtain.
I don't even have a dog to watch me at this point. You know that quizzical dog look? You're like, what is he doing? Is he jerk? What is that? What is that? Why can't I do that? Oh, I can lick my balls. He can't, though. So, dogs, they got other talents. All right. So
good for them.
AC Milan want to spend around 18 million. What? For Pulisic? 18 mil. I don't think Chelsea are going to be okay with that.
They were up until Nations League. The talk was 20 million buyout after a loan spell.
20 mil is.
And then he scores a couple goals against Mexico and Canada or whatever. And now it's bounced up to 30.
Well,
but
it says
Chelsea doesn't have the cards. They're not holding the cards. They're bluffing with an empty hand. They got one more year with Pulisic, and then Pulisic can walk for the free. They should probably just take the 18 mil at this point, unless they got a higher bidder.
They probably don't. Maybe they just do sort of somewhere in the middle, like a 22 mil, something like that, and the deal's done.
Everybody's saying settle for 25. Yeah.
Man, it's going to be weird watching him in Italy. That's just weird. But
he's been in Germany, now he's been in England, now he's going to go to Italy. He's touring Europe. He's U2.
Yeah, but I've lived in one place and I'm very familiar with the other. Italy, I just drove through that. I don't know where the fuck that is. I mean, I know where it is, but I don't really.
Where the hell were you going to that you drove through Italy? There's a mountain range between you and Germany, and then
the Alps.
Then it's then it's a bunch of water surrounding. It's a peninsula.
My parents went on vacation. I was along for the ride,
yeah.
So I don't remember. But and then when I went back, I never went to Italy. I've been to went to Eastern Europe. I've been to Spain, but never Italy really for any extensive amount of time. So there you go. It doesn't help that my grandfather used to refer them as spaghetti eaters.
Spaghetti.
So, yeah, I think he had to fight next to them in World War II against the Russians, and he did not have much respect for them. Although, I've read books that said they did a lot better than people thought. Anyhow, I'm not getting into a history discussion. All right, let's move on.
History. I think Diego chimes in on this. Says, where's CP going? And he goes, Milan soon. So it looks like they're going to make a deal, most likely.
That's really interesting that Diego knows that, because obviously he's closer to the Wasserman people. And Pulisic's a non-Wasserman, so
I'm sure Pulisic and Weston talk. They seem pretty tight.
I mean, yeah, a little. They know handshakes and shit.
They play rock paper scissors, all that stuff.
I don't think they go to the same church.
You never know.
I doubt it.
See Pulisic up there. Woo.
They certainly don't go to.
He's going to Weston's church, of course.
They don't go to the same club. I can tell you that much. But anyhow, yeah. I don't think Pulisic parties like Weston does. Let's just put it that way.
No,
not even close.
Right. Like, hey, Pulisic, do you want to go out to the club? I've got my warm glass of milk and a nice book. I think I'm good for tonight, guys.
No, he's got that.
I'm going to play chess against myself. Don't know who's going to win.
No, he has a girl come over. They play chess, and then they do the anal.
He posts pictures up on Instagram. Hey, want to Netflix and play some chess?
Oh. And then do some anal?
Damn.
All right, because we're saying he's preserving his virginity. All right, Leicester City are.
They don't, but he doesn't need to take his anal. Doesn't he take his anal virginity, right?
I don't think that matters either way, because, well, it does, because the thing about Christianity is that, well, anyhow, no, we can't talk about that.
Hey,
all right, anyhow.
Don't do that. There's a whole chapter about that shit.
I don't want to get into male gay sex on this show right now, and religion. All right.
We'll move on.
You're making this an uncomfortable moment, Brett. All right.
Thank you. Give our guy.
I think you're talking about Brett. Just ask EB. All right. Leicester City are set to sign Manchester City goalkeeper Zach Steffen. It is claimed. Who claimed it? That's what I want to know. But
Leicester City FC.
It's not beyond it's, as I said yesterday, it's not beyond the pale. It's very believable that this could happen. It wouldn't be surprising if this happened, because, I mean, that's about where Steffen belongs right now in the championship. And I'd like to see him have a good season again. Although, you would think the team he was just loaned out to would be interested in maybe having him back for another loan, but I guess not.
It's possible, man. The videos that were coming out whenever he was leaving Borough, man, they were all the fans were like, "Come back to Borough."
Yeah. So I thought maybe they might try him again.
I guess
So-
City's probably going to be looking at who wants to purchase him. Oh, nobody. Okay, well, who's the highest bidder for loan? Go.
No, I mean, it could be that Middlesbrough do want him back, but who has more money, Middlesbrough or Leicester? Leicester. They got more money. I mean, not a whole lot more, but they're getting from the what do they call that? When you get relegated, you get a blank fee.
Boned. Oh no.
Boned. No, you still get some
Financially
boned.
boned, Derek.
No, but you get money. You get money from
Relegated?
when you get, yes, you still get a percentage of the monies for the premiership for the next several seasons, 3 seasons. You get a percentage.
Shit.
Yeah, you know what these are called.
I knew that if you get promoted, you get like an 80 mil stipend or whatever the fuck it is, more or less.
No, Brett, when you go down, you lose a percentage of your Premier League money.
A lot of experience going down, don't you?
For 3. You should listen and learn something. Apparently, you don't know this.
You just keep lobbing them up. I mean, it's softball shit.
Really, I'm trying to tell you something here, and you know what these are. These are called something payments. When you fall down, parachute. Thank you, Chris Gary. I couldn't rely on Brett to come up with that. But anyhow, you get parachute payments for 3 seasons. All right, 3 seasons. And you lose more of the percentage of that parachute payment from the Premier League every season. All right? And then there's no more
at any
money.
given moment, the championship could have like 9 different teams receiving parachute payments from the EPL.
That's correct.
Okay, fair enough.
But
did not know that. News to me.
By the 3rd year, it's so small. It's really negligible. And think about the fee. What is that? What she said when she saw your package? That's negligible. All right. So anyhow, parents parachute payments for you, everybody. Let's move on.
All right. That's all my fluff. Let's move on.
He had a negligible cock.
It's adequate.
No, negligible.
Okay.
That's not even close to adequate. That's less than adequate.
I'm still giving like not very supportive terminologies. I've seen smaller.
Guess so. Yeah, that's another way to do it. You know, I've seen smaller, but I haven't seen much. I haven't seen much wider.
Woo, moral victories.
You've got a wide cock. It's short, but it's wide. We can work with that. All right, starting 11. Would you just make a squiggly? All right, that's like a pig dick or a duck dick.
A duck
All
dick,
right,
yeah.
Duck dick. All right.
I hate the fact that you and I both know that.
Well, it's been on the show before.
Okay,
all right.
fair enough.
Think of all the people that are watching this show for the first time.
For the first time, yeah. I
You've got to be
apologize to
thinking,
all of you.
what the hell is going on this show? All right, starting 11, Sean Johnson. All right, are we supposed to be doing a review? Yes, let's do that. Sean Johnson. Didn't somebody say something like this is the most important game ever for Sean Johnson?
I didn't pull that up, don't I? Hold on 1 second. Let me find it. It was strong.
Was it John Strong? What the fuck is... What's wrong with John Strong?
Comment to make.
What's wrong with John Strong right now? What is wrong with him? He's
So
never been my favorite.
Yeah.
But he's got a serious issue with delivering context, with being fair, with not trying to blow something up to bigger than it really is, because that's what he's doing in this tournament. And maybe that's what they're telling him to do, but it's making him look like a real ass.
Yeah.
Like he's starting to look like a clown out there. I don't know. If I'm John Strong, I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. They're like, yes, you are. We're paying you. So you're going to blow this up and you're going to make a big fucking deal out of this shit. You got it?
Wall. Let's get to it. Get to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk. Maddie brings it up here. There's a lot of talk of Slonina getting cap tied against TNT. And wouldn't it have been better to cap time against St. Kitts?
Yes, it would have been.
You want to say St. Kitts. But it's St. Kitts.
No, it's Kitts and Nevis. And Nevis. Don't forget Nevis.
I don't acknowledge Nevis. Sorry.
It doesn't roll as well as Trinidad and Tobago. Like, that's just a Trinidad and Tobago, you know? It sounds like a cigar. St. Kitts and Nevis sounds like, yeah, there's St. Kitts, and then there's that little shit down the road. His name's Nevis. Yeah, he's part of this crew too. John Strong said this is the biggest game of Sean Johnson's career. I think that explains enough. It explains that John Strong has either sold out completely, or his job's being threatened if he doesn't say shit like that, or he's just totally lost it. He's become one of the worst people to listen to while watching a soccer match. He's annoying.
Johnson's had to played one of the random MLS Gold Cups, right? Like as the number one goalkeeper or something like that.
I mean, that's an insult to fucking Sean Johnson.
Biggest game ever is against St.
This
Kitts.
game versus St. Kitts is the biggest game of Sean Johnson's career.
I think a random friendly against a much bigger team would be bigger than this.
Didn't he play in some cup finals for Chicago?
Good one.
Cup? I said cup.
Cup finals. No.
Okay. Well, I don't know when he's played a huge game.
I'm pulling up his thing. I want to see what type of games he's played in.
Well, look at whatever trophies he's won.
Well, I guess it wouldn't have been with Chicago. Probably would have been New York City. You know.
Right. Exactly. I think he went to an Open Cup final. I don't know, but certainly this is a total insult to Sean Johnson's whole career, saying that this game was his biggest game.
He's got 12 caps with the national team. I'm pulling those up right now. He's got 10 international friendlies, 2 Gold Cups, and then this one. So let me scroll down.
We don't know who the games are against, but
international friendly played against Canada.
Anyhow, aren't we getting too technical about this? Because honestly, if
he
John
played
Strong
against Costa Rica in a 1-0 win in the Gold Cup 2013. That's much bigger than this.
John Strong, suck it. Get half a brain.
What?
Stop blowing shit. Stop exaggerating shit and sounding like you're not exaggerating.
90 minutes against Panama in 2019 and a 1-0 win. Much bigger than this.
Why would you come on TV and exaggerate shit but pretend you're not exaggerating? Because that's what he's doing. And it sounds inauthentic as fuck. And it's making him and Stu look like clowns.
I would say
they're getting close to anyhow.
I would say the 2022 game against Uruguay, where he played all 90 minutes just before the World Cup, was bigger than this.
Dude, this isn't even a debate. All we're saying is John Strong is full of shit. He's full of shit, and this shit coming out of his mouth is shit. It's the shit that he's full of coming out of his fucking gaping pie hole. And it needs to stop. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, if that was a legit quote, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but if that was a legit quote, that was a dumb statement.
No, I remember hearing him say it.
Oh, then there you go.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Matt, because I heard him say dumb shit the whole game. Honestly, You're like, okay, that's hyperbolic. That's hyperbole. Oh, look, more exaggeration. Oh, look, more horseshit from John Strong trying to fucking pump up a game that's as flaccid as the most flaccid dick you've ever seen. Seriously. All right, Matt Miazga. He looked better with against St. Kitts because God, it's St. Kitts. I mean, who isn't going to look better? Neil looked really good too, but Neil's 19.
Yeah,
so he has an excuse to have a bad game, but he didn't.
Well, yeah, and I think between the two, between Miazga and Neil, I like more what I see from Neil just because he's calm, he's comfortable with the ball at his feet, and he can move the ball forward.
You know who he reminds me of?
Richards. Brooks? Oh,
Richards. He reminds me of a young Chris
example,
Richards. Even though he's not that far behind Richards in age, he reminds me of Chris Richards. The way he plays,
a couple year different there, yeah.
Yeah, his body shape, the way he maneuvers, the way he handles himself. I think, there's a kid with a high ceiling. I think that's a kid with a future. So anyhow, Brian Reynolds, nice goal.
He should have had a second one. Oh my God.
Has Reynolds grown since he left FC Dallas? Because he looks like a big dude to me now.
Oh,
he looks like
in height, not just soccer ability.
I don't remember him being that tall.
He was young when he left FC. So I mean, at that point, he
2 years ago,
he might have. I mean, absolutely might have. He might have grown just in strength. If anything.
He looks taller to me too.
Yeah,
He looks
He's
like a really big right back, like a big one.
and I've got to say, he should be right back moving forward the entire tournament.
Fuck yes. Enough Yedlin. Thank
End of
you.
demo.
We were big supporters of Yedlin many years ago when he moved to Europe. We supported him. He's not the same player. He's lost a step, and he has deficiencies. He always had technical deficiencies anyhow. But now, with the step slower that he is, it shows more. So I just don't, there's no point. Play Reynolds. All right.
God, I don't think Yedlin would ever have had a shot like Reynolds did. I don't think I couldn't even conceive of.
Oh, no way. That. No.
That was Yedlin, such a gorgeous half volley there.
No, Yedlin does not have that. And he doesn't have that skill set to hit that.
You know, the best part of the goal, outside of just being incredibly gorgeous and counting, it was finally somebody shooting outside the box. Oh, my God. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it was a relief.
Yeah.
And just shows sometimes when you shoot it, good things happen. Busio, I mean, he was all right, but it was St. Kitts.
Well, I mean, I'm still confused why he got subbed at halftime. I mean,
I was telling you at halftime when you were saying he wasn't that bad or something. I don't remember what you said. And I said, well, he still made mistakes.
He made a couple, sure. But he got into the attack. He had a brace of assists? I mean.
Yeah, he had 2.
And who came in for him?
Sonora.
Yeah.
Who has been poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they both are not, but they're not U.S. soccer, U.S. men's national team material. Neither of them.
No. I mean, no. Busio's got to continue to improve, and Sonora's not even the same radar at this point.
And honestly, Tessman should have been here. It's
a shame that there is a marriage. But yeah,
I mean, he couldn't figure out another fucking time to schedule his fucking marriage.
Yeah, I mean, you have the marriage, go quickly, have that 1 week honeymoon. You still get back for the Gold Cup. I mean, that I felt like the reason wasn't in the Nations League was because of that. And
or did he not get called up?
That's always possible
at all, because we don't know. Busio gets called up over Tessman when Tessman was the leader of that Venezia team in their comeback that season. And Busio barely ever played. Now that's called player bias. That's called giving somebody a hand job that doesn't deserve one and telling the other guy to also fucking suck his balls while you're doing it. That's bullshit. If that's what happened to Tessman, he needs to say something.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the timeline, so who knows where his wedding. It was his wedding, right? He was getting married, right? Anybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it is his marriage.
Who knows when his wedding was and when the honeymoon fell? Maybe it coincided between that gap, and it just wasn't going to work.
Well, just fucking reschedule that shit.
Reschedule. Yeah, that's it. That's never going to work out.
It's not going to be real popular with the family and all that.
That's a marriage that's going to end badly.
I mean, he didn't plan it very well, did he? He didn't think a year ago when they tied the knot and made the date that, hey, you know what? It could be I might have to play Gold Cup. So let's schedule it for the month after that. I don't know.
It's true. I guess your big opportunities of playing would have been absolutely just the Gold Cup because you're not a contender for the Camp Cupcakes.
The big boy
and
team.
While you're languishing in Serie B, you're most likely not going to be brought into an A team window. So, I mean, unless they do a European window that they may be able to pull from, that's different. But
I don't know. But maybe Tessman didn't think that far ahead, and that's fine.
Maybe he didn't consider a year ago that he might be in contention for a call-up in Gold Cup.
Maybe he thought that, yeah. But
I'm going down to Serie B. I barely played in Serie A. I didn't know.
Well, that's not having much confidence in yourself, is it?
Well, I'm not saying that. We talk about Jesus Ferreira with the confidence issues he has. I mean,
he's got Busio has confidence issues too.
I don't think Tessman has that problem by any means, but
no, he does not.
Down to Serie B, I'm probably not going to be called in here, so I'm just going to let the wife decide.
Yeah, probably let the wife decide. Said, hey, season ends here. Yeah, season ends here. When do you want to have the wedding? Anyhow, all right. So Sands was, again, I thought Sands is one of the better center midfielders last game, and he was fine this game too. Yeah,
he has a capable center back behind him. That's why.
But Sands is a very serviceable MLS player. He's one of the better ones on here, and he's very good. at New York City. Wasn't that great
He
at
was
Rangers,
last Gold Cup
but
too, and now nothing's changed from last Gold Cup.
Yeah.
He's still the same player.
He's solid. A good, solid MLS player. Not good enough for Rangers, but good enough for MLS.
What's the purpose of these placing these players in this lineup of order? I mean, it's not alphabetical by any means. They're not numerical.
No.
Why not go by position? I mean, just saying out loud.
Because it makes too much fucking sense, and the clowns that run this shit don't know what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, it would be so easy to do this by position.
They're drawing names out of a hat. Okay, put Busio next. Okay, put Sands next to him. Okay, Ferreira's got to go next to Sands.
Well, the only thing they do consistently is put the goalkeeper first. And I guess after that, the clowns at fucking U.S. Soccer don't know positions. So they're just like, hey, splatter gun.
Okay, no. Jackie D brings up a great point. You're right. They do put goalkeeper first, and then it's numerical after that. Good point. Good point, Jackie. Good point.
Oh, it is numerical. Like that means anything.
Yeah. Nope.
You think the players wear think the players wear the number for the positions they play? No, that's stupid to do this. Put them in positions, the positions there to play. Put the defense up right under Johnson. Put the midfield in the middle, and the fucking strikers and the forwards up top. It's not that hard to do.
Assuming that they do actually do numerical or with jerseys and positions and everything like that, it really puts into place that Mihailovic and Neal were significantly better than number of players with the lower numbers.
Yeah, because they got to pick first. So, all right, Jesus Ferreira scored triple goals. He got a hat trick.
That's Jesus. I don't know this person. I know a Jack Sparrow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jack Sparrow scored 3 goals. And again, we're not hating on him. We don't think he's a bad person. We like him. I'm sure he's a fabulously nice person. I said this many times on this show. I've said this numerous times on this show. Jesus Herrera in high pressure. Ferreira has in high, stress situations doesn't function well. Didn't function in the World Cup. Couldn't function during the fucking playoffs last season either for FC Dallas. He's just not good against better teams and better competition in high pressure situations. So
when I saw the Pirates of the Caribbean on the twits, and I'm not sure if somebody mentioned that on the broadcast or something, but absolutely from now on he will forever be Jack Sparrow.
Can we just call him Sparrow?
We could call him Sparrow, yeah. Well,
let's
knock it down to a name. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, one name, Sparrow.
I mean, that I feel like that's gonna be easier, and it's fitting. He'll get to a point where like he's scoring like a hat trick against Germany, and we're still gonna call him Jack Sparrow.
He's not going to score a hat trick
against Germany. I know.
Although I will say this, Germany has never looked this bad in my lifetime. This is the worst German national team I have ever seen. They are horrible.
That's a great question.
Is Zendejas the next Ventura Alvarado? I don't think so. I think he'll continue.
Had a bad couple games so far.
It's been poor, but then he looked better with the A team when he got a few minutes.
I guess you could say that about anybody when you surround them with your best players.
He's trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
He holds the ball too long. That's the sign of a player who doesn't trust the other people around him and a guy who wants to score a goal so it looks good, right? Yeah.
I want to get struck for that, U.S. Soccer.
It only took 20 caps for Jesus to get double-digit goals. So the fuck what? This is the kind of shit
it's the fastest in U.S. men's national team history.
I don't give a shit, Michael Cameron. You turd. Fucking turd in the background. This is turd in the background.
I need to pull up Simon Allen. Simon Allen here real quick.
Because Simon said something fucking smart, I bet.
He did, in fact.
So this is the kind of bullshit U.S. men's national team needs to stop. They need to stop saying shit like this. We all saw the goals, okay? They're against St. Kitts and his brother Nevis. Give me a break. For all the delusional Jesus Ferreira fans, I don't really think there's a lot of them, except for at U.S. Soccer. Clint Mathis scored, and Greg, and apparently BJ. Clint Mathis scored versus Brazil, 2 times versus Germany, Mexico, and South Korea in the World Cup for his first 10 goals. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Yes, it does make a difference. Yes, you do have to play who's in front of you. But when Ferreira has had to step up and play better teams, he has sucked. I'm sick of this fucking shit. Can't you figure that out? I hate when, even today, it was irritating listening to her say, well, you got to play who's in front of you. No, Seb was completely right. The other players, like Clint Mathis, who came up on the screen, did it against better teams. They didn't fold against better teams. They scored goals. Ferreira has not done anything but score goals against goddamn minnows, and he's had chances against better teams, and he's done diddly fucking squat. Enough of this fucking discussion. Enough. He's not good enough. End of story. Period. I'm sure he's a fucking swell guy. I'd love to have a beer with him. That's about it. All right? I'm sure he's a nice dude. I'm not being a hater. He's just simply not good enough. That's it. It's not personal. Grenada
Taylor
and
jumped
St.
in with
Kitts.
Taylor jumped in with some community notes for U.S. Soccer.
Yeah, here's a guy who's loosened up since he's not working for ESPN anymore. He's like, fuck it, I can just tell the truth now. You know, fuck it. If I'm going to take it out, I'll spit out some facts, motherfuckers. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Tight shirt.
Grenada and St. Kitts. Important context here. The important context is that I hate bagging on Ferreira. Like you said, he's probably a very nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy.
Come the A team, when we start playing the bigger teams and stuff like that, should he be in over Balogun? Should he be in over Pepe?
No.
Should he be in over Sargent?
He shouldn't be anywhere near the goddamn field. He should be on the team.
It's important context to hear out that every goal but one of his 11 goals came from a FIFA 100 plus team.
Correct.
So take it for what it is.
So if you're out there defending Jesus Ferreira because you think he's a great player, then you're a moron. If you want to defend him because he's a nice guy, okay. But being a nice guy isn't what we're doing out here.
Oh, I guess while we're here talking about Ferreira,
Brett's a super nice guy. He shouldn't play on the U.S. men's national team. Yeah, actually, you're really not
come on,
that
I can
nice.
serve some water.
You're really not that nice. I mean, you're nice enough. But I mean, you were
a funny guy.
You were really nice to Jake the other night, that's for sure.
Yeah. I like Jake. Jake's a nice guy.
Yeah, I know. You said that.
Yeah.
I don't think other people think the same thing, but all right. Anyhow, I mean, listen. I'm not getting.
You're not talking about yourself there.
No, I just called him out for what I thought was not the best way to go about that. You know, causing conflict and abrasiveness, probably not necessary there. Anyhow, but hey, we all make mistakes, except for us. We don't. I mean, we make small mistakes. Factual mistakes.
Here. We don't make mistakes. We eat crow once, and we're like, we're never doing that again.
Well,
I still think the one time we ate crow was about a cost, and I think we kind of were still right.
I think so. He did have a good game. There's no doubt about it. But I was talking more about like in the way we interact with our fellow show people, right?
Content creators.
That and even guys like Jimmy and whatever.
Oh, there's still content creators though.
Yeah, but then I get an F for how I talk about like Lawless and some of the other guys because they fucking hate me anyhow. So what do I care? I don't care. So even if they did like me, I still criticize Davies. I still criticize Jimmy in a nicer way than I criticize Lawless, obviously. But you know,
yeah. I recognize Lawless's Twitter game for what it is, and I don't take the bite usually.
I'm not taking the bite. I'm just calling him out. So I called him out right on his own Twitter a couple times already. Never responded to me either. Although he doesn't know that Boomer Richie is associated with the Straight Red Card account. So I'm just waiting for that one time.
You need to update your profile.
What?
You need to update your profile. Get the Straight Red Card on there.
No, because I want to sneak up on Lawless and have him reply to me. That'll be awesome.
You might get a notification from the court after that.
He's going to be like, oh, fuck. That's who this is? God damn it. Fucking Boomer Richie. I should have fucking known it. It's that cocksucker from the Straight Red Card. All right. He doesn't give a shit. He's Alexi Lalas. He's about as arrogant as one could be. All right. What else we got? Oh, did Alexi Lalas just say he didn't know if Balogun was better than Jesus Ferreira? I didn't hear him say that, but do you have footage or?
I've got a clip here. I mean, it's really, really rough audio.
Okay.
So let's see. It's USMNT. No, not you.
Rough audio. What did they? Is this some investigative reporting they did at a bar while he was eating a hamburger?
I think it's somebody recording it with their phone.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here we go.
Is he going to be as good as the greatest goal scorers that we have had around? I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Good as Balogun? I don't know. We are going to find out. Obviously, Balogun doing it at a very different place.
Come on.
Wait till the end.
And don't think for a second that the goal scorers for the U.S. national team, whether it's Jesus or anybody else, aren't looking at it and saying, "Hey, there's a new sheriff in town. Is he going to?"
Who's the new sheriff in town?
Right now it's Ferreira. He just scored 3 goals, Derek.
Oh, for fuck's sake. He didn't just say that. Tell me he didn't just say that he's saying Ferreira's the new sheriff in town.
Well, listen again. Let's listen.
The goal scorers for the U.S. national team, whether it's Jesus or anybody else, aren't looking at it and saying, "Hey, there's a new sheriff in town. Is he going?"
So the U.S. goal scorers, whether it's Jesus or anybody else, aren't looking at this, the inclusion of Balogun, basically, or just whatever, and saying, "Hey, there's a new sheriff in town."
So Balogun's the sheriff.
No, I think they're the goal scorers are the sheriff. So anytime Pepe is scoring goals, well, then Pepe's in there going like, "Hey, real
I'm one of the sheriffs too."
Ferreira saying, "Hey, I just scored 3 goals. I got a hat trick. I'm the first. I'm the fastest scorer to get to 10 goals in U.S. history. Look at me, I'm right here."
All right, fuck that. First of all, there's only one sheriff in your classic Western in town. Everybody else is a fucking deputy. Okay, so let's get that straight, number one. So the sheriff is Balogun. The immediate deputy underneath him is Pepe. And the other deputy is fucking Josh Sargent. And I don't know where you go from there, but it ain't Jesus Ferreira.
DK, Wright, and Ferreira all have to battle for the...
We only bring 3 tops center forwards to the A team. I'm sorry, Ferreira, you're out for now. But I would like to see goddamn Josh Sargent step up next season, grab the bull by the fucking horns, and make this not a debate anymore.
Norwich
not leave it open.
Norwich is not going out and buying another striker at this point.
No,
so
he's starting all season, so he better do something.
What's the other guy's name? It starts with an I.
Yeah, but he starts out wide.
Yeah,
he starts out on the left side. So Sargent's going to start at the 9 all fucking season unless something stupid happens for Norwich next season. Norwich. I've been criticized by some English dude. It's Norwich. You don't pronounce the fucking W, dumbass. Well, excuse me. We say lots of words different. You say herbs, I say herbs. Actually, they say herbs. I say herbs. You say basil, I say basil. It's okay. We don't have to all agree.
I say toilet, you say loo.
They do say loo. We say the line, they say the Q. All right. I say boots, they say wellies. It's okay.
We say trunk, they say boot. Now it's just fucking confusing.
Hey, yeah. We say shit fuck, they say wanker. You know, we say moron, they say muppet. All kinds of shit. All right. So here we go. What else you got?
Oh, we're still talking about the rest of the lineup here. Hold on.
Yeah, we had some players to go.
Sharing audio. So we just got that one Ferreira for Cal.
Cal was a disaster last night. Sorry,
there wasn't a whole lot to it. I forgot who I was talking to about this on the twits. But they're like, I see Cal developing moving forward, and I'm like, well, Cal has one move, and if the opponents ever realize he's got one move, he'll get shut down.
And they all knew.
They all knew. Cut to your left, take a touch with your left, cut to the middle,
to the right.
Shoot the ball.
Yep.
Or maybe cut to the middle and then try to make a pass, but it's all the same thing, Just
it's all
take away his
inside.
right foot. He's not going to be able to do much.
Why don't we just? I don't understand playing 2 inverted wingers last night. Yeah. I don't get that. It would have been better off the other way around. But I guess if we did that, then we wouldn't have seen much of Reynolds. We wouldn't have seen as much of Reynolds as we saw.
Yeah, the thing with not having inverted wingers in a sense is that ideally, if you're going to play an out-and-out winger, you're going to be lobbing balls into the center a lot more. And when you have Ferreira playing as a false 9, there's nobody there to make connect.
That's true. That's true.
So when you play Ferreira, you have to play with that style.
You do. You're correct. You're correct. You nailed it. So, yeah, now I understand why we did it. I just didn't think about it. I forgot all about Ferreira there for a second. But you're right.
How many headers is he going to get a hold of?
But that would change if you started Vazquez instead of Ferreira.
Sure.
Then you
Lob
could
those balls
flip-flop
in there,
those
Matt.
two guys and lob them in, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, Cal just did everything that was so predictable, and, you know.
He got stuck 90% of the time.
He just got stuck,
deflected, whatever, you know.
Yeah, stuck is a good way to describe his whole performance.
Mhm.
Mihailovic, I thought, was one of the bright lights
Yes.
of that game.
He better start next match.
He will.
Yeah.
He will. I think he will. Who are you going to
I mean,
put in for him?
it was clear. It's funny because you had the broadcast once again talking about Mihailovic and how his motion with the ball and his distribution and his thought process faster. And that was one thing that he mentioned when he went to Europe again. And it's like, no fucking shit. Again, you say anything otherwise, you're considered toxic. Well, MLS is improving. Yes, MLS is improving. Nobody's saying that it's not.
Absolutely has.
Well, there's still an absolute difference between your thought process in MLS and when you go to Europe, which is the one main reason why a lot of people are saying Ferreira needs to go to Europe at this point.
Dude, in 1997, LA Galaxy signed a soap opera star to play on their team. So, yes, we've come a long fucking ways in MLS, okay?
Yeah.
So, but listen, there is still a big difference when you're asked to go play with one of the top teams in Holland. You're going to be asked to do things that you're just not used to doing. And you're competing for a spot that's not yours. You don't own it. You got to fight for it every game. And I think Mihailovic has learned some things there. And he just looked like the best player on the field for us last night.
I'm assuming Ferreira got man of the match with a hat trick. I'm assuming. Pure assumption.
Oh, I would make no assumptions about U.S. soccer and their man of the matches.
Didn't Mihailovic get like 1 goal and 2 assists or something like that?
He got 2 goals and 2 assists.
Two goals and 2 assists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, a brace and a brace assist.
Anybody who's got man of the match, post it in the chat because I'm assuming it's Miazga simply because of the hat trick.
Miazga? You mean Ferreira?
Sorry, no. I looked up and I saw Miazga's name.
Sparrow.
Sparrow got a hat trick.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be shocked if they gave it to Matt Miazga. It wouldn't shock me at all.
There you go. Jack Yad down. It was Ferreira.
Oh, God. That's kind of sad. I thought Mihailovic was much better than him. But then again...
most of Ferreira's highest perks of the entire match was just his calm, collective finishing. And
yeah, he's not...
You got to give him credit. It was one-on-one against the goalkeeper and stuff, but he was really calm with it and just cool. Slid right past him, or right through him, actually.
You think he meant to put it through the uprights there?
On the one with the one-on-one goalkeeper, where I think where he kicked with his legs,
where he kicked it through the uprights, the guy's legs. Yes.
Okay, that's what we're using. Yes,
he nutmegged him for the goal.
I think that was his intent. Yes,
that was
not
on
necessarily
purpose.
going for the nutmeg, but trying to slot it. Just calm past him. But
it makes sense. Obviously, the goalie's going to be spread eagle. Yeah. DeJuan Jones, he was fine. He's fine. Yeah. He wasn't great. He didn't shock me or anything. I wasn't like, whoa, he's really come out here in a rage of glory.
Who played left in the first match against Jamaica? Yedlin and
yeah, I can't remember.
I can't think of it. I don't think DeJuan Jones proved that he should be starting over whoever the fuck it was. I can't. Boggling, I can't think of it.
I cannot believe that I can't remember who started at left back. Can somebody tell us, please?
I can picture Yedlin, but Tolkien.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, BMR. Appreciate that.
I didn't think Tolkien was horrible, but neither of them has stood out to me as like, okay, they have a chance going forward of making the 2026 team or sniffing the A team. So
no chance. Neither.
We already talked about Alex and Deas. He just he tried too hard.
I would say he was probably arguably the worst on the pitch.
He wasn't good.
Missed so many chances. Skyrocketed him. One too many touches. He did not slide. He could have had a couple. He could have had a pair of assists. but he just kept dribbling the fucking ball.
He and Sonora, same problem.
Okay, fair. I forgot about Sonora. When I said the worst on the pitch.
Yeah.
Both of them I get worst.
Both of them having the same problems out there. And Jalen Neal, we already talked about at length. Mm-hmm. One of the best players out there. One of the high ceiling players going forward. A mini Chris Richards. So good future for him.
Roldán got his assist. Derek was texting going, please just get a fucking goal.
I was. Please just score and get this over with. And then he did score. He hit that guy in the nutsack. I mean,
Stu cracked a funny on the twits. He goes, I don't think we needed 3 slow motions on this. when Roldán took his soul.
That was going to go so wide, too. That wasn't even going to be near the goal. But he fucking hit that guy square in the nuts, man.
Somebody had mentioned they're like, St. Kitts and Nevis has like a population of like 50,000.
That's right.
They just sterilized one male.
It's like, all right, no. you got St. Kitts and Nevis, but I think Nevis just had to check out there.
Hoping Bull would populate nation.
We are just down to St. Kitts now because Nevis got taken out on that one.
That's true. It's a nickname for their
mostly
man purse,
that mostly hit the left testicle, which is Nevis. All right, what else we got? Let's talk about Landon.
Any of the subs that you can think about that came in? Vazquez didn't do anything.
It's St. Kitts. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, there was anybody else that stood up outside of Neil, Mihailovic, and am I missing somebody? Reynolds, I guess.
Neil
for me. Yeah, I said Neil, Mihailovic, and Reynolds were 3 that I can come to my mind.
Sands was all right.
Yeah, as you said, a serviceable MLS player.
Yeah,
not bad.
I think so. Busio had some good passes, but overall still had issues.
I gotta share audio.
Oh, we're gonna do cap tied? Seriously? I mean,
no. This leads to the duel.
I get it, but really, all right. Brandon Vazquez is the only guy. Well, Aiden Morris too. Both of those guys might like Vazquez had like a 20% chance of being actually called up by Mexico. 20%. Aiden Morris had a probably 90% chance of being called up by Canada and becoming.
Canada tried to call him up actually.
Yes,
for this tournament.
I'm saying that Aiden Morris would have been playing for Canada's national team going forward had he taken 90% chance if he had taken the call up. Alan Sonora, who the fuck is he supposed to play for? Argentina? Yeah. These are not big cap ties. I can't believe this is even a diagram. Who's Cade Cowell going to go play for? Mexico? Like that was ever a real option for that? Was it something he was really thinking about? He wasn't.
When the rumor was that he was trying to get his Mexican passport or whatever.
What a joke.
Everybody's pointing out, like, he doesn't speak a lick of Spanish.
Well, that doesn't even matter. They don't want him.
It could affect how the rest of the Mexican players look at him. I mean,
they don't want him.
Ochoa, David Ochoa, was it the goalkeeper? Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Okay. He was talking about when he was with the Chivas youth team, and they looked at him, and he was fluent in Spanish and everything like that, but he's from across the border, and he wasn't Mexican enough. Then he came to the United States. It was accepted with open arms. Played for us, or was called into the National League or Nations League.
Yeah,
and then backstabbed us.
He's a fucking ass, anyhow.
We dodged a bullet there, quite frankly.
Yeah, exactly. He's an ass. Now, if Cade's last name was Cowles or something like that, maybe they would embrace him. But he's no ways he was ever going to be called up by the Mexican national team. Never. They have a hard time in Mexico calling up Argentinians, all right, who were playing in Mexico that have gotten their Mexican citizenship. They're like, oh, there's a big ruckus when they call up an Argentinian to play on the fucking Mexican team.
Yeah.
You think they're going to take Cade Cowell? Hey, man, let's call up that Cade Cowell.
They seem to be fine with Araujo.
So this is a waste of a chart here. Outside
of the interns have to do something. So give them a break.
Bullshit. They can just be down there in the basement jerking like everybody else.
I like just the handles of the Gold Cup here on both sides. It's a nice effect.
What is the point, Brett? Can I just ask you, what is the point of putting up a chart about cap tying players that will never play for the fucking A team. What is the point of it? Maybe KCAL. I don't know. 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now. But what's the point of this chart? If I
show
ask,
that we're still capping players, I don't know.
bullshit. These are meaningless caps. Most of these players are going to play for us or wanted to play for us anyhow. It's just stupid. This is the dumbest cap tied chart I've ever seen. If I have to ask, what's the point of your chart? Then it's a dumb fucking chart. If you can't tell me, Brett, what
Well,
the
you know
point
what
is,
though?
then
Actually, looking at the bottom, Gaga Slanina and Julian Gressel will be cap tied with Gold Cup appearances. Well, we got Gressel. He's cap tied now.
who fucking cares about Gressel either? This is so stupid conversation. Does Slonina made any inference that he wants to go play for some other country? Has he made any inference?
To it, you son of a gun. It's faster.
Oh, it's a total joke, Dan. You're absolutely right that this chart was even made. Like, this is some sort of accomplishment. None of this is an accomplishment. This is a given. Aiden Morris, we already knew he only going to play for the United States. He blew it because he's never going to make our A team. He would have played regularly for Canada.
Who said that? Somebody said it on here. Here you go.
Honestly, Aiden Morris should have gone with Canada. Yes, he should have. Because he would have had a chance to go to a World Cup. He has no shot making that 2026 team. We are loaded in the midfield enough and we don't bring enough midfielders for him to even make depth. Unless he gets a gift from Berhalter.
Yeah.
Berhalter's KY greasy mitts.
Gross. He definitely has no chance of cracking that midfield at all.
No way.
At Columbus. He would absolutely have to go to Europe and have to shine.
Yeah.
Because that midfield is filling up. Because you look at the Nations League midfield that we had, and that didn't include players like Tillman.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Tessman's above Morris in my book.
He is.
Hell, Tillman.
Both Tillmans.
Both Tillmans are above. Who else? Was there anybody else missing from the midfield? Oh, Adams,
I don't know.
Obviously. Adams obviously spoke.
Pretending capping Alan Sonora is nothing but an obvious fucking thing for Alan Sonora because Alan Sonora,
he could have played for Argentina.
No, he had negative percentage chance of playing for Argentina. Kate Cal has a negative percentage chance of playing for Mexico. Brendan Vazquez had a tiny percentage chance of playing for Mexico. And Aiden Morris is the only one here that makes any sense, but cap tying doesn't mean shit because he's never going to play for the big boy team. And he should have gone to Canada where he would have played. Now, granted, his heart's with us.
Yes,
God bless him.
Respect
for that. But don't throw Julian Gressel at me too, you stupid fucks. I can't believe this chart was even created. What a waste of everyone's time.
Again,
and the poor interns, and the poor interns who would have been way better off just fucking jerking, slapping around, waxing the dolphin in the fucking whatever basement they put those poor guys in to make these charts. Just hit up X Hamster would have been much more time efficient. What else we got? We're going to play this shit.
Do you want me to skip right to Donovan on this front?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Donovan loses his shit on live TV.
Come on.
I think Donovan's already talking while this is going on.
Been, yeah. Okay, let's jump back.
So let's just start it somewhere around there.
Loading.
Jesus Christ.
You moved around too much.
Is that what happens when you move around too much? You freeze up? Well, they sabotaged our fucking show.
The worst Twitter.
Front Saturday against Jamaica.
I guess we got to listen to the whole thing.
Recruit and get you. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Sorry, I'm emotional.
Okay.
About more than just soccer, ultimately, to represent the United States for every player that plays for the U.S.
I think this whole recruiting thing, it irks me. I'll be honest. I think we have it backwards.
I'm irked.
He's irked.
It vexes me. I'm terribly vexed.
I mean, Irked, I guess, is I bet you he's a little more than Irked. I think he would have probably used the word pissed.
Yeah.
If he could have.
Cameras, that's right. Irked.
But why is he irked?
Slightly annoyed.
Yeah, and let's hear why he's irked. Here we go.
If you don't want to play for us with every fiber in your being, then don't play for us. Go somewhere else.
Okay, stop it right there. What the fuck does that mean? That if you don't want to play with us with every fiber of your being, that's so dumb. I don't know what that even means. That's one of those black and white statements. What about the kids who have a German mom and an American father, and you're just kind of confused for a while? You're a young kid. You're 18 years old. You're not quite sure. And so you're going to have to explore that, have that conversation with your parents, have it with the people close to you to figure out how you feel. Maybe you love Germany and you love the United States. Maybe you love both countries, or maybe you love something about both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that fucking simple. All right. But once you commit to one, yes. Once you commit, you got to be all in. You got to be all in.
Yeah, 100%. That's what Lalas was saying before Donovan, is that, hey, I just want to make sure that if you're going to play for the United States, that you're going to bleed red, white, and blue. So to your point, though, Derek, Herc chimed in, and we'll go back to Donovan. He's got much more to say. We'll talk about that more in depth here. But Herc says some people will never understand the struggle. There has to be more nuance to it. It's not black or white. He says black or white, but it's black or white. Right. Being a dual national, multicultural is much more than where you play a sport. Right. Anyways, ESPN Plus after the game, you know the drill.
No, Herc's absolutely right. Wow. I mean, we even use some of the same language. So,
yep. The people are like, "Did Landon forget this? He bleeds red, green, white, and blue."
Yeah.
I go, what are you suggesting? Players torn between two or more nations might have to be wined and dined to let them know that they are wanted to rep the United States? Shenanigans, balderdash, pure poppycock.
And Lalas clarified today on a show, so he's been right twice in a row, which is a miracle for him, by saying Landon got it all wrong about the not recruiting. We need to be recruiting. In this day and age, you have to go out and recruit players, especially players whose hearts might be in two different places.
Yep.
And if you really want them, you got to go out and get them. If you're an American fan, you got to let them know you want them. And that's what we did with Balogun. Should we kick Balogun off the team because he doesn't meet Landon Donovan's fucking standards?
Well, and he does bring up Zendejas in a little bit, and I think it's a funny example, because if we didn't actively continue to push for him to rep the United States, he loves the United States. I'm not taking anything away from him and everything, but it wasn't too long ago that he illegally played some matches for Mexico.
Yeah,
so
but that was
clearly
only
I'm just saying, if we did not actively quote unquote recruit him, we didn't have to recruit him. We have to say, hey, we're still really interested in you playing and repping the United States. Keep us in mind. And then he chose the United States. If we didn't do that, who knows? He might have actually filed the one-time switch.
I don't think so. I think he always had the United States in his heart.
But I'm just saying, if the United States didn't actively recruit him,
we didn't really recruit him. We just called him up.
Fair enough.
I mean, and
like I said, that's probably the nuance you have to sit there and split a bit.
Yeah.
Recruiting is not necessarily saying, hey, we really like you on our team, but,
It was more like, hey, you want to come back? This is where you belong anyhow, and you know it too. And he's like, yeah, I do. That's kind of a different discussion, because I don't think Zendejas ever really wanted to play for the Mexican national team anyhow. But we weren't calling him up, and Mexico were. So there's that. But here in the Balogun's case, there's all kinds of different things going on there.
John's got what the actual quote.
If your dick doesn't tingle, red, white, and blue, get out. If your dick doesn't tingle. Yeah, I'm just saying, you think every fiber of Balogun's body, as it's required by Landon Donovan, was all with the United States when he had to make that vital decision? No, it wasn't. But once he's made it, now he's made that commitment. Now he's all in, and he said it as much. He's all in.
And that's basically, I think, what you're saying, because I haven't watched the Lalas clip yet, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're specifying, is that he may not have been bleeding red, white, and blue and chose the United States, but he ended up choosing the United States, and he will bleed red, white, and blue when on the pitch.
Right. Maybe he was just bleeding red and white at one point, which would have been the flag of England. All right, that's the colors of it.
Obviously, he had a choice, but he was like, I know these guys have known them. So he feels American. We've had people in the past, we all know them.
All right. What's
played for the-
feeling American? Again, I mean, these are just such grand terms that using it, you can spit it out, right? But even Americans, we have different ways of feeling American, right? There's a whole spectrum of it. Italian Americans, they're really into a lot of things Italian, right? Does that make them less American because they like
So
their
it's funny you
Italian
bring up Italian
heritage?
Americans. Do you remember? There's a quote from Rossi back in the day.
I knew you were going to bring up Rossi
Yeah.
because I brought up Italians.
Yeah, exactly. You brought up the Italian. I was like, oh, that's perfect because I was going to bring him up regardless. But there was a quote he did in an interview, and he goes, "Yeah, my heart was always with Italy. I was always going to play for Italy. But whenever I'm with the Italian national team, I never feel more American. And then when I'm in America, I never feel more Italian.
Yeah,
It's a
explains
tough
it right
situation.
there.
That's the nuance that Herc's talking about. You got to appeal to it.
It ain't black and white.
Yeah,
that's all we're saying. And Landon Donovan is living in a black and white world, and we don't have that. That's fairy tale land. Real life is a lot of gray. There's a lot of gray. There's a lot of things shades of it,
if I recall correctly.
That's correct. And there are all kinds of ways to rationalize things, to think things through. There are different ways of contextualizing things and thinking of things. Some people are introverts. Some people are extroverts. Some people believe that there's a God. Some people don't believe there's a God. So there's many different ways of looking at our universe. And that includes the way you look at your own, how you define who you are as a person, which doesn't always necessarily, for some people, mean defining yourself as a part of a specific tribe or country, even sometimes, especially if you got two tribes that you were born into. It's not as easy as it all sounds. It is to Landon Donovan. He was born in Canada and moved here when he was a little kid. He's like, fuck Canada. I get it. It's easy for him. He was raised red, white, and blue, as he says, feeling American. Yeah, okay. That's fine. A lot of people would say people who grew up in California aren't very American. But hey, there you go. Jackie D, really, Landon is just still mad Julian Green went to the World Cup over him. Maybe that is who he's talking about. And that's what happens. Again, we were talking about Jake before in his show when he made this sort of broad statement about, content makers and being whatever, negative.
Bernie's was keeping it. I told him that.
So did you? When you make a general statement like, oh yeah, those jabronis, there's a lot of people are going to be like, who's he talking about? And when you don't know who he's talking about, you just assume he might be talking about you. And here in this situation, it's the same thing with Landon Donovan. If you're going to make a statement like that, and he says, and we all know who they are, by the way, well, that's not fair to Jermaine Jones and a lot of other guys. I mean, I sent you a text today. You think he's talking about Fabian? Question mark? Because I'm not sure. But now we've lumped them all in there.
That we sort of lumped because it can't be Jones. Jones actually moved to the States.
Jones is a badass.
With USSF, so clearly it's not Jones he's talking about. But the people we know, I mean, is it Timmy Chandler? Is it Fabian Johnson? Those would be the two.
Could
that
be
would come
Fabian
to my mind.
Johnson.
It's certainly not Bacon. Bacon wanted to play more games for us, but his hip was broken 99% of the time.
Yeah, but Bacon
Tyler
lives in
Boyd
Iceland.
just simply wasn't good enough.
Hey, but Bacon
but he's in MLS now.
Bacon lives in Iceland. Fabian Johnson never moved to the United States after he hasn't even officially retired, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
All right. And he didn't move here. Remember, that was one of his prerequisites. Donovan, they had to move here too.
Oh, yeah.
They had to live here.
Yeah. They haven't even come back to the States. So that's why we thought that it was Johnson and Chandler that they're talking about.
Well, the real Johnson in this is fucking Landon Donovan. And I hate saying that because, I mean, obviously he's one of my favorite players, growing up and watching soccer.
I feel like the more he
States.
talks, the worse it's getting, quite frankly.
It's this.
Yeah. Just maybe he needs to stay behind the desk at a USL club and stay there or not just there, but anywhere else as a figurehead behind a desk, because when he gets up in front of the camera, he just says some weird stuff.
And when Mr. Red, White, and Blue himself, Alexi Lalas, doesn't agree with the fuck he said, there's an issue. All right. So, And by the way, Landon, while we're at it, just shave that shit off your head. That peach fuzz shit. Just shave it off, dude.
Go
You
back to
look
the shave,
fine. You look fine bald.
No, he's
Completely
been
fine.
bald, hasn't he? I'm pretty sure he has, right?
No, he's got this shit growing up there.
No,
It's
no,
not
no. I'm
even-
saying beforehand. At some point in his life, he's been shaved.
No, he has not.
I could have swore he did.
Nope.
Maybe I'm
Never
mixing
did
these
it.
up.
He's never gone the full Monty. He's always just left that shit right here. Just fucking look like it's all like got like a rat's nest on his head or something. Shave it
All right.
off, dude.
Let's finish this quote here, and we'll go to Lawless next.
We probably don't have to. I just spoiled all that.
We like pulling it up. Again, I want to give Lawless his due.
Okay, you want to
nice.
give him his due. You want to
The
give him a
US
little
few
reach
times,
around.
maybe in a World Cup,
We're
and
still
haven't
about
stepped foot in America since and didn't really care. So if you
Step
don't want to be part of our country and wear that beautiful jersey, then don't wear it. I'm sick of this whole like we got to go recruit and get you. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Sorry, I'm emotional.
It's good. We're all romantics
It's
around here.
good. It's good. We're all romantics. You see how she's like trying to clean it up for him. It's
Yeah.
good that you're romantic because you
Let me
know.
fill that hole back in. You're trying to dig, man. Stop it.
I mean, listen,
no.
that was not Herc's right. That was shit. That was the wrong way to say it and the wrong way to approach it. And then we had Lawless come on his show today and fix it. Although he said he agreed thematically with what Donovan was saying, he did not agree with the recruiting part. And then he was much more specific about what an American was or is. He said, you got a passport? It says you're American to me. I don't give a shit.
Winning. That's a winning
Yeah.
statement right there.
And that is a good place. That's a good place for everyone to start.
Yeah.
Let's assume they care before you say they don't. And yeah, by the way, in this day and age, you have to recruit. Period. End of story.
I mean, even if you look at people who there's definitely people who bleed more red, white, and blue, or darker red, white, and blue.
Well, whatever that fucking
I'm just
means.
saying-
What? You got a bigger flag than me? Does that make you a bigger
it's
an
like-
American?
Yeah, I've got the American flag tattooed. You know, I've got on
Yeah.
my wall I've got an American flag plastered on there. You know,
You got a fucking a mural.
I
of
don't
Ben-
drink Bud Light anymore. I don't drink that. It's not.
You
that's
got a
not American
mural
right there.
of Benjamin Franklin tattooed on your fucking right testicle. Does that make
Yeah.
you a more American?
more
than me?
dedicated at that point. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds like a big cockfight to me. Oh yeah, you want to see how American I am? Look at this. You know, come on. You wait till I whip this shit out. I'll show you how American I am. I mean, this is not a cock fucking like ding dong contest. This isn't like who defines what an American is? Who gets to do that? No one does.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Brett, you don't. And Landon Donovan sure as shit don't. He sure as shit does not, because he has no idea what being a dual national is, where someone on this set does. All right? That'd be me.
Mhm.
Mom's German. So I understand what is the conversation. My brother was born in fucking Germany. He is, you know, that could make him as German as fuck, couldn't it? But he is an American. He is pretty red, white, and blue. All right. Half the German team was Turkish. Well, not half. The good parts at some point, if you're talking about Gunwan. Most of the French team is African. That's kind of true. But they're French. They are French citizens. So they're French. That's how it works.
Do you think they're any less French than the actual native French?
You would have to ask them. Do
you think they bleed less blue and white and red? Red, white, and blue? Yeah.
I don't know if every country holds patriotism standards.
No,
like
I feel like
we do.
we're kind of isolated to that front.
Yeah, I don't think every country holds patriotism standards like we do, number one. And I think if you wanted to know how French they felt, you should ask them, how French do you feel? I tell you what, Terry Henry would tell you he feels very French.
I feel like if you just, are actually repping the team at a national event, I feel like you feel some form of connection there. It's not just a business transaction at that point.
Dugarry, some of the greatest French players who were also part African felt very French. That was their first pick, playing for the French national team. So they must feel somewhat French, but you would have to ask them individually how French they felt and what that meant to them.
Matter.
It doesn't matter.
They got the French citizenship, ergo.
Okay, but I'm saying, listen, we're talking about someone's soul here. And Landon Donovan's making a bunch of assumptions about people. If you want to know how American someone feels, then fucking ask them, and they'll tell you. They'll tell you from in their perspective how American they feel, and you can take that for whatever you want. But nevertheless, the passport, as you said, still says "goddamn American."
I want,
right?
I better say "goddamn American" on it.
Goddamn American! I'm a goddamn American.
I wonder though. I wonder after that broadcast. I wonder if any of his former teammates had reached out to him, said, "Are you fucking talking about me, motherfucker?" You know, I doubt it, but I mean, not in those words at least. You know?
Yeah, well, Timmy Chandler couldn't have because he could barely speak English. But I'm just kidding. His English is
Google Translate.
Hey, but I mean, let's be honest. Timmy Chandler's English was so poor that Brian Schroeder had to hire my mom as a fucking translator. That's how bad and how uncomfortable he felt.
And she was
doing an interview in English.
She was not very familiar with that dialect of his.
Yeah, he was born in Hanover, or he's from the Hanover region, and that dialect is a little bit. The accent is really
Your mom was
difficult.
like telling Brian, like, "Oh yeah, shit, man, that's like hill people." Fuck.
Yeah, she had to ask him several times to repeat his answer because his accent was so thick. But she got it right. Brian got his interview, but I remember Brian calling me. He's like, "Yeah, there was one question. Did your mom get this right?" And he read it to me, read me the answer. Because I don't want to get him in trouble if this is what he said. And then I had to call my mom, and then I had to say, "Yes, Brian said," and asked me if this quote's correct. Can you look at your notes? Mom's like, "Yeah, that's fine." Call Brian back. I was at work at the time too, so it's a big pain in the ass. But anyhow, the point is, yeah, this is all you can't presume someone's soul. That's not any. You don't get to do that. No one gets to do that.
And why does it matter? If you're living in Germany, you played for the United States, and you still reside in Germany, why does it matter that they never came to live in the United States at any point? Why does it matter?
Toronto retired, and he lived in Germany for like years before he finally got a job in the United States, and he stayed in Germany. Why? Because his wife is German, and all his wife's family lives there. That's why he stayed there. That's sometimes what matters most.
Trundle's parents just wanted a free place to stay when they came to visit him in Germany.
I guess. I don't know. His parents could be dead for all I know.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, if your family still lives there, why would Fabian Johnson, if his whole family lives in Germany, move to the United States? Like, why is that a prerequisite to being more American?
Well, and I know when this came out, people were commenting on Twitter, and some people even in here were talking about, like, Julian Green has come and visited his grandma in Florida a couple times. Like every summer or something like that. It's something they mentioned.
Every summer, yep.
Yeah. So, I guess on this comment, suck a dick.
Yeah, Landon blew it.
This is a big one. Oops.
Yeah. Even if, like I said, Lalas says, "No, that's."
Let's see how Lalas cleans this mess up.
Okay. I mean, he does buffer.
So we had this discussion last night, and look, a lot of times when you have a discussion on television, you don't have the desired and even at times the appropriate amount of time to really get into the nuance.
True. That's true.
I went away. That was meant. The information tab there had a does Jesus Ferreira receive too much hate?
Oh, Jesus. We're glad we already covered that.
Yeah.
And, I really respect and appreciate what Landon has said. And in many ways, over the years, I've said some of the same things.
Buffer.
First off, I want to, I guess, blanket statement this. Nobody is saying that anybody is not American, right? I mean, you get a passport.
Well, hold on. I think Landon Donovan just said that.
Yeah.
I think he said
we know who they are. Actually, he specified that there are players, and we all know who we're talking about.
They're not real Americans. That's basically what he just said.
Yeah,
they don't bleed red, white, and blue with every fiber of their body.
There are some players out there, and we all know who they are. I'm like, no, we don't. Please explain.
You're right. He's just fluffing up
upon that, please.
Yeah, he's fluffing for Donovan right now. He doesn't want to hurt Donovan's feelings, but then he gets around to disagreeing.
He's trying to correct the ship. He's like, no, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean. I kind of said that though.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you are eligible to play for the national team.
And you
are American. That's not what anybody is saying. We're talking about it in the context of playing for the national team. And I fully recognize that and respect that there is a mercenary element to dual nationals. Keep in mind, my father's Greek, therefore I could have played for Greece.
Okay, we've never had this issue, mercenaryism. We have not. we have not.
Rare.
We have not been.
Yeah,
we have not done that to anybody. Some will say
we've taken a couple of Canadians, I guess.
Some will say we just did it to Aiden Morris. Like if
Aiden Morris, Teal Bunbury.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, should we have been absolutely honest with Aiden Morris? We should have been, but shouldn't Aiden Morris be absolutely realistic with himself first? I mean, but if you were a really nice guy, if you're BJ, you're like, listen, and I mean, have you looked over your ceiling? Do you think you're really ever going to make it like to a World Cup with us? I think you might have a better chance playing for Canada. Don't tell anybody I said that, but I'm just trying to give you some advice. You know, we should have. That's sort of, but I think
when the
Aiden Morris
aspect,
Aiden Morris knows the situation.
That it's a player who can't necessarily play for their first choice, and then picks their second choice because they've got no better options. I feel
that's what Aiden Morris is. His first choice is the United States, and he's never going to play for us in a World Cup.
No, but he chose the United States, so that's different, though.
That's his fault. Yes, but we could have not have called him up. We could have. What I'm saying is BJ could have been honest with him, say, "Hey, dude, you've got really this much chance of ever making the U.S. national team. Why don't you go take that cap from Canada?"
I think the mercenary aspect that he's referring to is more along the lines of, say, like a Balogun who, although he could have played for England, that's a bad example there.
Nah, I don't think so. Not anytime soon.
We stuck on with Fabian Johnson and Timmy Chandler. They probably would never really crack the German team.
There's no guarantee.
Wasn't going to.
No guarantee Balogun makes the fucking.
Fair, it's possible, but he might. You know, I'm just saying. I didn't want to say he was in that sense. And then you have the players who are realizing that they're not going to make their first team of choice, and then they end up picking their second team, which makes them that is mercenary aspect is what he's referring to.
I don't like calling them mercenaries.
100%. I agree with you on that. I agree. I'm trying to break down his point there.
That's where he's wrong. Now he's just spitting more fucking dumbass Landon Donovan shit. No, he's not a mercenary. He's not like the Hessians fighting with the fucking British in the goddamn Revolutionary War. It's ridiculous. This is not mercenaryism. Yeah. This is just some guy, Balogun in this case, making a fucking decision that's best for him. And now he's got to be all in from here on out. That's all I ask. You pick us, you're all in with us, period. Never look back again.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I ask. Don't call him a fucking mercenary.
Yeah, that's the nuance that Herc was talking about, is that you literally have players who are torn between nations. They may lean one way more than the other. And I'm sure a lot of the Mexican Americans.
But we don't know that.
That's true. We don't. I know. I fully agree with you on that. But they may lean one way more because of family. Like I said, with the Mexican American population, they're very. I mean, their family is heavily, obviously, focusing Mexico in that sense. And then they're born and raised in the United States, and they feel American too. And they're torn between this almost an equal stance, But there may be a leaning one way, but then they whatever. They make their decision. It's their decision to make.
That's correct.
And if they choose Mexico or they choose America, that's their choice. Fuck
Absolutely.
off everybody else.
Yes. That's a personal fucking decision, and nobody, including Landon fucking Donovan, has the right to tell them where their heart is.
Yeah.
That's for them. That's for them to decide. So I don't like calling them mercenaries either. So Lalas is wrong there. He's stupid for using that term. I don't like it. And I mean, that's like saying Balogun's a mercenary. Well, fuck you. We don't know that yet, and we don't know where his heart is.
Even if he does fit into that whole quote unquote mercenary role, he still can fit into Lalas's initial thought process on Fox's show when he said, "I don't care. You pick us, that's fine. You have the passport that makes you American. As long as you come out on the pitch and you bleed red, white, and blue."
That's all I care about.
I don't give a shit about. Yeah, I don't recall seeing a single player out there that made the switch over to the United States that I watched him on the pitch and go, "This guy's fucking phoning it in, man."
And he doesn't care. Yeah. I mean, Timmy Chandler was always accused of that.
Well, he was. Well, he was also half the time he was played out of position completely over on the left, and that we see what happened. We see what happens to Des on the left.
Right.
He's a shadow of his self on the right. So Same thought process, I guess, in that front. I mean, I never questioned Timmy's willingness to play for the United States until he obviously stopped accepting call-ups. That's different, I guess.
He always blamed it on his coach too. He's like, my coach didn't want me to leave. He said I'd lose my position on the team if I went and played for the United States. Oh, well, then your fucking manager's a dick.
Yeah.
Anyhow, let's keep going.
I could have played for the U.S., but the mercenary that comes.
He's a mercenary
in most cases.
He could have played for Greece.
The player will look at the situation and say, you know what, the chances of me playing for this country are slim, and in many cases,
seriously,
that's a huge bulk of the dual nat. So, I mean, you brought up Rubio Rubin playing for Guatemala.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure if his first choice wouldn't have been playing for the United States instead.
Yes, it would have been.
Guatemala, and guess what? When he's on the pitch with the Guatemalan jersey, I guarantee he's busting his balls.
Look at we got Zavaleta playing for El Salvador, the other Roldan player playing for same team, El Salvador. You don't think they're fucking not Perez, exactly, former U.S. youth player? You don't think they're trying their goddamnedest for El Salvador? They are.
100%.
They're putting heart and soul into that shit. If you've watched any of their games over the last year or a few years, not the last game they played because they were all horrible, but yeah, they care.
I mean, the number of dual nats that actually get to play for their country of choice has to be the smallest percentage compared to the other route, because there's only a finite number of spots on the pitch.
Correct. Yeah.
So once those spots are filled, the other dual nats are said, to Laws's point, you're going like, well, my chances of making this team are no good, so I got to go and play for this team, I guess.
Allegiances on all levels.
I don't like that argument at all.
Are you telling me that one player, let's say take Peyton Manning, for instance, all right? Peyton Manning played with the Colts. Do you think when he was really dedicated to us, really, blood and all, he goes to the Broncos? You think he doesn't give a fuck about Denver? No, he cares a lot about playing for Denver.
Busted his ass and got 2 more championships, yeah.
And then guess where he lives? Denver. Or Colorado in general. I don't know what specifically.
Fair enough.
So people's allegiances to states. And by the way, just so people know, prior to the Civil War, people weren't Americans. They were Virginians. They were New Yorkers. They were Carolinians. Nobody said I'm an American. That came much later. You were from a state first. All right? This is a new I'm from Alabama. I'm an Alabamian or whatever the fuck they called themselves. I'm a Texan. Nobody said I'm American first. They said I'm from Texas. I'm a Texan. I'm going to rep. That's why Lee picked to fight for the Confederate side. He said, I'm a Virginian and I'm going to fight for my state. He didn't say I'm an American. He said I'm a Virginian. Okay, that's changed. I get it. But let's not pretend this whole like new way of looking at being an American is like how it's always been. It hasn't. It's been like this for maybe since World War II. This is when this started. All right, go ahead.
This is none. As opposed to the chance for me playing in this country, where not only can I play for this country, but I have the potential to actually play in a World Cup. And if I didn't have this dual national distinction, sometimes
it wouldn't matter then.
Yeah.
There's not a chance in hell that I will ever come close to being on the stage. And I get that allure. I get that attraction. I get that value. But
that was a bunch of fucking thrown together.
So the thought process at that point is, say I was born in Germany to an American parent and a German parent, and I'm not good enough to play for Germany, but I don't want to be a mercenary, ergo I just don't play international football at all.
So fuck it, yeah.
I'm done. I'm hanging up my cleats.
Such a ludicrous discussion to have. This is such a stupid discussion. We boiled it down now to stupidity is what we're doing. So I guess Lalas did get this wrong because I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he got.
I caught like the very end of it.
You toned it out after like the first minute of his point here.
I think I only caught the very end where he said Donovan and he disagreed with Donovan. That's the part I caught. So.
Well, that's got to be coming up here soon, right?
It's got to be. You would think we're already 3 fucking minutes into this.
You are going to walk on the field and represent a country, and in that moment when you put on that jersey and you put your hand over your heart and you are singing
No.
that song, it has to mean something more.
Of course it has. No,
This
I don't.
is
Whoa,
not
whoa, whoa!
expressive.
It has to mean something. What does more mean?
Than before.
What is more? More than what?
When you're German and you're really trying to get on the German national team, did you really care about the American national anthem? Probably not.
It has to mean something. Now, more, I don't know what more means. Again, we're whipping out cocks and we're saying my more is bigger than your more. And that's
I think Shaq's more might be the biggest.
When I whip out my hand and put it over, when I whip out my hand and put it over my heart during the national anthem, it means more to me than it means to you. Can you imagine Matt Turner and fucking Matt Miazga having a debate about this? God damn it, Matt. I don't think it means enough to you. Because when I put my hand over my heart, it means more to when it means to you.
Exactly. And you're looking at that when they're painting down the players as the national anthem's going on, and you see like 50% of them are singing and 50% of them are not. Clearly that 50% that are singing care more than the other 50%.
If you're not singing, you're off the team, baby.
that was a big thing in the first game. Like people are posting a video like, why aren't these players singing? There must, some of them were like the dual nats that were doing anything, and like it doesn't matter. Actually, in the United States, the national anthem is played before a lot of sporting events, especially when you're in high school and stuff like that. The vast majority of people don't stand up there and sing. It's kind of a different thing for whatever reason, where you see other nations and everybody's like belting it out and everything like that. It's a little more.
When you played high school soccer, they did the national anthem before the game.
Oh yeah, every game.
Fuck, not mine. Like I said, that's another thing that's relatively new. That started right after September 11th or somewhere around there. 2001
for me, because obviously I was 98 through 2002.
So I bet you the first 2 years they didn't play the national anthem that you were playing.
It's possible. I don't know.
Because that's when
it's been a long time that I've drank a lot. I've lost a lot of brain cells.
That's when I noticed the big shift of them playing the national anthem at everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And listen, I got no problem with it, but don't pretend everyone has to sing.
When they talk about the NFL with the whole kneeling and stuff like that, and they were like, well, prior to this specific point, the players were never on the pitch during the national anthem. I say pitch, but the field.
The field. I don't even want to talk about that shit. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Situation. This is international soccer.
Mm.
If it doesn't mean more to you than the actual playing of the game and the score of the game, I do think that is a problem.
I'd be curious to find out, though, how many players on the U.S. national team over the course of history, say from Lalas until now, how many players on that pitch actually felt that way? Where playing the sport was all that mattered. Who cares about where I'm at?
Yeah, I can't think of a single player who I would say gave no shits at all about the fact that they were representing a country when they were on that pitch. That seems like is this a problem?
Yeah.
I mean, are we talking about Julian Green and Timmy Chandler and who else? Just tell me who they are, and I'll go, okay, what you're saying is they didn't give a shit about the United States. They said, fuck the – in fact, we were in the locker room, and before we went on the pitch, they're like, fuck this national anthem, fuck this country. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go play.
Let's go in.
I mean, I just don't believe that ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Once you commit to something as a player generally and commit to a country to represent, man, you're wearing that flag on your chest every time you go out there. How can you not take some pride in it? Maybe it's not as much pride as you want them to have, but then again, we're into whipping out cocks and measuring again.
Yeah.
And that's just where we get into like a no-win situation. So since he just rejected, transferred Vazquez for $8 million.
That's why I brought that up, because it has an actual number behind it.
That's a good price for him. You're correct. Yeah. They have done the national anthem before every youth and high school football and baseball game here in California all the way from the 70s until now. Holy shit. I played for Fort Knox High School. That's on an Army base, and we did not play the national anthem before the game. I mean, that's crazy.
You're less patriotic, that's why.
Yeah. Guess I'm an unpatriotic motherfucker. And
go back to Germany.
And all the soldiers running that base must have been unpatriotic motherfuckers. Jesus, hey.
Does it bother me that we are engaged in the the recruitment and the
No.
wooing of dual nationals.
No.
In that sense, I guess I disagree with Landon.
Hey,
The
small
way
clap.
that process goes, I think, is important, and a real honesty with the player, in that we're not promising you anything other than the opportunity to represent what I feel is the greatest country in the world.
So that goes to your Aiden Morris point right there.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody from USF sat down and said, "Hey, it's unlikely that you'll make the 26th World Cup"?
That's a tough conversation to have, number one. And number two, isn't that what the people around Aiden Morris and his agent should have done? Sat down and said, listen, you'll be way more popular and we can make a lot more fucking pancake commercials and maple syrup commercials up in Canada if you join the Canadian team than if you don't ever get to play for the United States A team in a World Cup. Yeah. Sell a lot more maple syrup in Canada. Yeah, wearing a Mountie outfit than you are never playing for the United States.
I was trying to think of something to go with the Mounties, and
Aiden Morris,
by any means.
Aiden Morris just fucked himself. Let's be honest. He's a seriously good, serviceable MLS player who will never be good enough to play for.
Well, we said we looked this up last show.
World Cup.
He's like 22.
Yes.
So he's competing against a bunch of people that have been in Europe for years that are literally like a year older than him.
Well, some of them are younger. Moose is younger.
Arena.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an uphill battle for him. And
uphill battle. He better hope that the plane crashes or something, because that's the only way he's ever going to go to a World Cup for the U.S.
Knock on wood, Derek. Come on, dude.
No, let's not hope that happens. Obviously, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Does it mean that you're going to start, that you're going to play? No, but we have identified you as a potential player because of your dual national status. And if you're out there choosing, this is why we think you should come. But if you don't feel something, David, if you don't feel something for the country that you are representing,
where in your nutsack, your loins, where are you supposed to get this feeling? Yeah, listen, I love this country. I love this country. But it's not like when the American national anthem plays, like my balls tingle. I mean, I've been living here a long time. I love this country, but I don't understand what I'm supposed to feel. Like, pride? Okay, some amount of pride because you're playing for the flag. But are you telling me there are players that don't feel pride?
Well, how do you gauge it? Do you think USSF goes up to dual nats, or like in Europe, let's just say, and say, hey, we're really interested in you playing for the United States, but first you kind of have to enlist in the draft?
No, what they do is they're going to invent this thing, right? And they're going to go up to him and say, listen, we're really interested in you playing, but before
America meter.
Before you do that, I want you to blow in this thing for me, please. We need to see. we need to understand how American you feel. Okay, blowing it. There wasn't a whole lot of red, white, and blue in your blow, baby. I'm sorry.
Maybe a little bit longer. Keep going.
You want to try again? Okay. We're gonna have instead of a breathalyzer, it'll be an Americanizer. I'll tell you. Yes. How American are you breathalyzer that you have to blow into before playing for the U.S. men's national team?
One thing I gave Greg props on, especially last cycle, and probably going to be the same this cycle because I doubt his mentality about it is going to change, is when it comes to dealing with dual nats, he's like, hey, this happened predominantly.
Yeah, no pressure.
Go accept the camp. It's a friendly camp. See if you like it there. If you like it there, that's great. We're gonna bring you in next window. If you like it here better, that's even better.
If you don't, fuck off. We're not gonna lose any sleep.
Yeah, we'll keep moving.
Alvarez, go fucking suck a duck. Who cares? Go try to play for Mexico. You'll never make a team. He will never make a team. Jonathan Gonzalez, sorry, buddy. Where are you in even more? I don't even know if he plays. David Ochoa. Hey, go blow one. Who gives a fuck?
Failing in second Liga MX or whatever it's called.
Yeah, like you said, that was a bullet dodged for us.
Bullet dodge on that one, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done. He doesn't say
He
anymore.
could have still been playing at a Real Salt Lake if he was American.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. He's got a real he's got a really big problem controlling his emotions and his spontaneous thoughts. Like he has no control of himself. Like shit just flows out, and whatever flows out, he's like, "Hey man, that's me." No, dude. Sometimes you need to take a look in the mirror and see what me is, because sometimes me ain't good. And then I say me, I mean you.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're done for the night, and we appreciate all of you guys.
You don't even have Twitter questions. This was like the only show we've never had Twitter questions.
People want to go to bed. That's why. Thanks to all of you for hanging around. Make sure you like and subscribe. And Brett told me that if I threaten you, that all of you who are not subbed, but continue to watch this fucking show. I mean,
I will find you.
Sub the show. Like you're watching this for the 10th show, you should be subbed. Oof. That's all I'm saying. There we go. And
20 hours worth of entertainment right there. You can give us a sub.
No shit. I mean, we're pumping this out like, it's a flooded basement or something. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Right Card, we may remember that we love you and share it with your grandma or your aunt or anybody else who likes U.S. soccer. That's the only way we're going to keep growing, unless you use Viagra. All right. We'll see you soon.
That hurt. I'm tuned in like crazy, and I'm pretending like I know what they're doing, and I'm
Be articulate and intelligent.